Hi there. Today I'm going to be talking to you about monitoring for bilirubin levels and why it's so important and can be dangerous if it's not done correctly. So let's first define a few terms. First is bilirubin. Bilirubin is the waste that occurs after a red blood cell breaks down. In adults, a red blood cell breaks down all the time and the bilirubin gets created, and the liver actually cleans out the bilirubin from our blood. In newborns, however, their liver is not mature enough to clean out the bilirubin. Some have very immature livers, and therefore they're not able to clean out their bilirubin. High levels of bilirubin can cause jaundice. Jaundice, if untreated, can then start to create something called kernicterus. Kernicterus essentially is when bilirubin gets to the brain and starts to kill off brain tissue. Kernicterus leads to brain damage. Therefore, any newborn that's born and has bilirubin in its blood, it needs to be monitored. Most babies have a blood taken from them and they are able to get their bilirubin checked. When the levels come in, then what the hospital typically does is they chart it. They will monitor and chart. If a child has high bilirubin levels, or if they're exhibiting signs of high bilirubin, like jaundice, which is a yellowing of the eyes or the skin, then treatment needs to occur. Treatment is typically a phototherapy session, which is putting your child under a blue light without any clothes on and allowing the newborn to be under there for many hours, and that gets rid of the bilirubin. Extremely important so that kernicterus, that bilirubin in the brain, doesn't occur. So what hospitals do is they will monitor, but they have to continue monitoring and make sure that more and more bilirubin goes away so that the bilirubin isn't increasing. If a hospital is not monitoring and is not plotting out any of the bilirubin levels, then it is being negligent. In addition, a hospital needs to figure out whether or not the child has any type of incompatibilities relating to bilirubin. These incompatibilities within the blood is actually something that can increase bilirubin levels. Incompatibilities such as ABO incompatibility or G6PD incompatibility have to be monitored. If for whatever reason your child suffered some injuries and you believe it might be due to the high levels of bilirubin and the lack of treatment in the bilirubin levels, then you need to talk to a birth injury lawyer. My name is Adam Funk, and I am a birth injury lawyer, and I would love to speak to you about your potential case.